that Mr. Pack could be a false prophet? Brethren, being told that you're in the right place and that you've made it because you're simply in the right place, quote unquote, is satanic. If you're told over and over and over again that you've made it, that you're fine, as long as you stay, you're in the right place, you've got nothing to worry about, that is satanic. That is evil. That he is a false prophet. Turn over to Deuteronomy 18:22. Hold your hand there. When a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, and there have been so many things that Mr. Pack has said were going to happen that did not happen. And there have been times in this series where he's even claimed to be a prophet. But even besides that, Mr. Pack has said that he's a prophet a few times in the series. So when a prophet speaks in the name of the Lord, if the thing follow not nor come to pass, that is the thing which the Lord has not spoken, but the prophet has spoken it presumptuously, you shall not be afraid of him. To say that Dave Pack is a false prophet. Do not be afraid of Mr. Pack. He is a false prophet. He has prophesied, and those things have not happened. The number of doctrines that have been changed in RCG is staggering. It's not just prophecy. It's not just prophecy. Mr. Greg Kodonic did an excellent job documenting all the changes that have been made through the series. The biggest in my mind is the God of the Old Testament being changed to be the Father. But what about the men? What about the men themselves, the false prophets themselves? What's their goal? What's their aim? It says through covetousness. Covetousness is what's motivating them. Brethren, again, when's the last time you've seen a new world to come? I understand Media Production Services is putting together videos here and there, but when is the last time you heard or saw Mr. Pack sit down in front of a camera, besides giving a sermon and a Bible study, and do a world to come? The first commission, preaching the gospel to the world. When's the last time? It's been years, years and years. And what do you see instead? You see trees, lakes, cabins, and RCG hasn't done a world to come in years. Because covetousness is what's motivating these people. Reveling in their own delusions. False prophets are covetous. They want your money. They want to live in a nice house, behind a gate, on a nice campus with beautiful lakes, horses, cabins, trees, flowers. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, how many great swelling words have we heard during the series? These false prophets are after you. And if you go do a Bible study on false prophets, it's really amazing. One of the patterns that you'll see is that false prophets always preach smooth things, good things. Destruction isn't coming. Don't worry. Kick up your feet. You've made it. You've got nothing to worry about. You know, the Father is coming immediately, right away. Well, I mean, what could be better? What could be better than the Father himself coming to earth? That is the smoothest, most wonderful thing that I think you could ever tell someone. And it's exactly what a false prophet does. It's not easy to tell. They look righteous. If you were expecting to see a false apostle or false prophet to come and they're foaming from their mouth, "Rah, believe the Trinity, rah." Jesus answered and said to them, "Take heed that no man deceive you." The first thing that Christ says, as we're being told about the things to watch for at the end of the world, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and will deceive many. We've always taught this can mean, or by his authority. They don't necessarily have to come and say, I'm Christ. They can come with his authority. An apostle, you understand and remember the meaning of that word, is one who's sent forth by Christ. Now, if what's been taught in the greatest untold story is not, here's Christ, there's Christ, he's coming here, he's coming there, he's coming Christmas, he's coming Purim, he's coming during the feast, the last day of the feast, Passover, days of unleavened bread, there's been so many dates, here, there, everywhere. He's in the secret chambers, he's in the desert, he's up on a hill. Christ warned us. This is exactly what he said to watch for. He said to watch for this stuff. He warned us. He says, don't believe it. Don't believe it, because what's going to happen is I will come and like lightning from the east to the west, you're going to see it. You're not going to miss it. It'll be unmistakable. So until then, don't believe it. Don't believe I'm in the secret chamber in the desert. I'm coming on Passover. I'm coming on the days of unleavened bread. I'm coming at Christmas. I'm coming at New Year's, Purim. No, don't believe it. Christ said false prophets will come and they'll say those kinds of things, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Do not support a false prophet. Do not support a false teacher, a false apostle. Look, brethren, it wasn't easy for me to leave headquarters. I lived in a beautiful home. The back faced the valley. Beautiful, gorgeous, quiet. The neighbors were nice. I could walk to work. Everything in that respect was wonderful. But at the end of the day, the truth has to matter more. And so I sent an email to all the ministers, and I said that what's being taught is confusion. I knew I'd be fired. I was ready to walk away anyway. I couldn't agree with the changes. It is heresy. It's still heresy. So I had 2 shipping containers dropped off. We packed up all our things. We were gone in 3 days. I went without a job for 2 months. 2 months, I had no job. I was homeless. Me, my family. I have a wife. I have 2 children. I have a 4-year-old, and now I have a 10-month-old. 6 months ago, he was only 4 months old. We were homeless for 5.5 months. I lived in hotels. I rented rooms. I stayed with family. Stayed in a cabin. And I don't mean to talk about myself, but I just want to tell you that it might be hard to leave. It might be very difficult. It's not fun to be homeless. Right? It's not fun to be homeless. It's not fun to not have a place to go, to call home, to not sleep in your own bed, to not sleep on your own pillow. It's not fun to not have a job, to not know if you're going to be able to provide for your family. Forget it. Forget it. Don't believe the rhetoric. Don't just believe the words that are coming out of his mouth. Go to your Bible. Go back to 2 Peter 2 and see that what's happening right now is a textbook case of what we were warned about. Textbook case of what Christ said in Matthew 24, that people would come in his name by his authority to deceive many, saying, look here, look there, Christ is here, Christ is there. Prove it for yourself. Take the time. Render false prophets powerless by not supporting them. Do not tithe to them. Do not show them respect. Leave their organizations